Welcome back, everybody, to the KC Sports Report. I'm your host, Michael Darcy, and today I'm going to break down how long Rashee Rice may or may not be out with this lower leg injury. So, ladies and gentlemen of the Chiefs Kingdom, if you guys saw my video yesterday, I was talking about some of the things that doctors have said on Twitter about Rashee Rice's injury. And initially, we thought that he tore his ACL and that he was going to be out for the remainder of this season. But as time has gone on, we have had, more question marks surrounding his availability and really how serious that injury is. And listen, I still think that regardless of what we find out, next week, this injury is going to be, putting him out for quite some time. The Chiefs put him on IR, which means that he has to come back, after 4 weeks. That is 4 games. So he is not eligible to return for quite some time. But as I said in yesterday's video, if Rashee Rice's injury was truly as bad as we thought it was, he would not be placed on short-term IR. The Chiefs would have already known by now, and Rashee Rice would have just been ruled out for the rest of the season, and we wouldn't really be talking about this situation right now. But since we haven't gotten an official diagnosis, all of the doctors on Twitter, all of the fans are speculating about what's going on. And some of the people that are speculating, Mike Florio and Pro Football Talk, they're saying that the Chiefs are doing this to hide Rashee Rice's injury so the NFL steps in and suspends him, which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the Chiefs, that's massive tampering. That is, breaking so many rules. It would just not make sense for the Chiefs to do that. They have no positive benefit from that. But I do think it's interesting because as time goes on, we hear more positive reporting. Nate Taylor of The Athletic and even Pete Sweeney of Arrowhead Pride reported a couple days ago that Rashee Rice was walking around the Chiefs locker room and he looked okay. Now, he was still having, major swelling around his right knee, but considering that he was already walking around after, the injury a couple weeks ago, I guess a little over a week ago, that's very positive. And he didn't have any crutches. He didn't have a walking boot on, which I guess you wouldn't have a walking boot on if it was an ACL. But, I think that the fact that he's walking around while we're still waiting for this diagnosis, that's a positive. I've said it so many times. No news is good news when it comes to injuries. And the fact that we still haven't heard anything about the severity of it, I think that gives, Chiefs fans more of a reason to be hopeful about a potential return in the future. Now, early this next week, Rice is going to see a specialist in Dallas to determine how, serious the injury is. I've heard that they're going to perform a scope on him. So this is coming from Deepak Chona, MD Sports on Twitter, at SportsMD Analysis, saying that Rashee Rice scope next week usually means meniscus tear. Getting a trim plus non-op treatment of ACL plus PCL sprains could result in 6-week return, best case scenario, more likely missing longer though. So I think the expectation is that he still misses 6 to 7 weeks, but it's not that torn ACL. And so, they're going to do that scope. They're going to look around, see if it's, a partial tear of his meniscus or, just assess how bad the damage is. But listen, a week and a half ago, we thought that Rashee Rice was out for the year. And I think that to get this news that we're still waiting for results, the Chiefs have to have some sort of optimism that he is going to be able to return at some point this season, which is just so important because if you look at this Chiefs offense right now, I mean, it is bare bones. It is scraps at this point. I mean, it's Kareem Hunt and Xavier Worthy along with a banged up Juju Smith-Schuster carrying the charge this week against the Saints. And so if you could get Rashee Rice back this season, I think that, the Chiefs fans can kind of take a deep breath and they can breathe for once, but it's going to be very important how they handle this injury and, that they don't rush him back. Because while we would all love to see Rashee Rice play tomorrow, this is not something that is going to be solved overnight. He is still going to have to go through extensive treatment and make sure that he comes back at the proper time to not risk any further injury. Because, listen, as much as I want the Chiefs to three-peat, if the Chiefs decide to bring him back sooner than expected out of necessity, just, they need him in the offense, so they rush him back, I would not be happy with that. In fact, I'd be very disappointed because the Chiefs have shown that they don't care about the future. All they care about is three-peating. And I understand when you have history in front of your eyes that you want to go chase it, but the Chiefs have always gone with the motto of longevity. And if you rush Rashee Rice back, what does that have anything to do, with the message of sustaining, for the future or building for the future? You're not doing that if you're rushing him back just so you can have him in the offense. Now, with that being said, you obviously would like him to come back as soon as he can, but given the fact that this is going to be a right knee injury, a leg injury nonetheless, that's going to take some time to return, and he might come back and not be the same, speedy player that he is right away, because it's going to take some time for him to, get healthy. And so I do think that, we are going to have a chance to see Rashee Rice later on in the season, but the question is, when will we, see him return? If I was to give you a proper date, I would say, past week 15. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm optimistic, maybe I'm, pessimistic, maybe he comes back sooner, but I think that more likely than not, he comes back probably week 15 or later, or maybe they just even rest him for the postseason if this team keeps performing up to the level that we think that they can. And so I'm extremely excited to see the developments in this Rashee Rice injury. We're going to find out a lot more this week. Listen, he's going to have that scope with the doctor in Texas this week, I think on Monday or Tuesday. We should have an official diagnosis before the end of next week, because the swelling has gone down. They've done the imaging. If they don't let us know what's going on, things are very fishy. At that point, I will, concede that maybe something weird is going on. But I do think that, we're going to find out something more permanent with Rashee Rice coming up here in the next week. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this channel and support this content. I want to give a big shout out to the sponsor of this video, the Hollywood Casino at Kansas Speedway. They are hosting a watch party on 10/27 for the Kansas City Chiefs Las Vegas Raiders game. It should be a fantastic matchup. I'm going to be there doing a live stream watch party for the game, and if you come by, you could have a chance of winning some free money in Pen Play Cash. Check out the link in my description for more information and sign up to be a Pen Play member. Of course, if you have a gambling problem, seek help. You can reach out to me directly or call 1-800-GAMBLER. Now, I will say, come out to the casino, say what's up, and we'll have a good time as we watch the Kansas City Chiefs hopefully beat down on the Las Vegas Raiders. So until next time, guys, thank you for watching this video, and go Chiefs.